A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Tennessee Titans acquire star W.R.A.J. Brown in blockbuster trade. In the blockbuster trade that sent Tennessee W.R.A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Tennessee Titans get a two-time 1,000-yard wide receiver in exchange for a fourth-round pick.
The deal also includes a 4-year, $1 million contract for Brown. Brown is a native of Ole Miss and was a key call in Tennessee's offense.
A.J. Brown is a two-time 1,000-yard receiver. A.J. Brown is a talented wide receiver who entered the NFL in 2019 as a second-round pick from Mississippi.
He was the fourth highest-graded wideout in 2020 and 2021. Last season, he had only 63 catches for 869 yards with 5 touchdowns.
He missed 4 games in 2021 and finished behind Devonta Smith, but still managed to post a 1,000-yard season. Among receivers, only 2 players average more targets a game than Brown does.
Despite the criticism of his contract demands, the Eagles were unwilling to pass up on Brown. The team has used its first-round pick on wide receivers for the past 3 years.
Last year, they traded up to take Devonta Smith with the number 1 overall pick.
In 2020, they selected Jalen Reagor, who is ranked 21st by ESPN. Brown is a proven star with 2 1,000-yard seasons in his first 3 seasons in the NFL.
While the deal took a bit longer to come together than many would prefer, the Eagles are expected to get value for their second-round pick. Although Brown's contract was cut, the team made a move to get Brown.
The team paid Brown with NFL draft picks and own cash, making the deal worth $1 million. In addition to Brown, the team has signed Devonta Smith, who won the Heisman Trophy last season.
The two will pair well with quarterback Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown is a two-time 1,000-yard receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles.
His career highlights include a 1,000-yard season as a rookie in the NFL, as well as his record-setting season with the Tennessee Titans. However, his rookie year was hampered by injuries.
In 2021, his production was limited by injuries, and the Eagles ended up drafting another defensive tackle, Jordan Davis. Despite his injury-plagued career, Brown was a Pro Bowler in 2020 and signed a 4-year extension with Philadelphia that could be worth up to $100 million.
While Burks is a talented player, he will not be as good as Brown in the NFL. Tennessee Titans also shipped Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles for the No.
18 and 101 picks in the draft. The Titans used the 18th pick on Arkansas W.R. Treylon Burks, who is a talented player, but is unlikely to be as good as Antonio Brown.
The Titans had no choice but to ship Brown due to his impending second contract. Apparently, they felt they couldn't afford to pay Brown the money he was demanding.
He's a 4-year, $100 million player. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed A.J.
Brown to a 4-year, $1 million contract. The deal includes $1 million in guaranteed money, making him the 4th highest-paid wide receiver in the NFL.
During the negotiations, Robinson admitted that getting a deal done with Brown was difficult. After the Titans traded Brown to Philadelphia, Brown deleted his tweet.
In the days that followed, Brown was flooded with offers from other teams' yachts.
Brown was a first-round pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, but the Tennessee Titans were not willing to give up their first-round pick. The Titans had repeatedly told reporters that they were not planning to trade Brown and were instead planning to use their first-round pick on promising Arkansas wideout Treylon Burks.
That's why it was a surprise when the Philadelphia Eagles made the move. Eagles have made a wise move by adding Brown to their offense.
The wide receiver has topped the 1,000-yard plateau twice and is arguably the best receiving option in the league. Last year, he had 869 receiving yards despite missing 4 games due to injury.
With the addition of Brown, the Eagles' passing attack is expected to become dynamic. Coach Nick Sirianni has expressed excitement about acquiring Brown.
The wide receiver market has exploded. The Jacksonville Jaguars signed Christian Kirk to a 4-year, $72 million deal last month.
While Kirk never hit the 1,000-yard mark in 4 years and has only once reached 70 passes, Brown has surpassed the mark twice in 2 seasons and has already made 1 trip to the Pro Bowl. The Jaguars also opted to retain him for a 4th year.
He's been a key cog in Tennessee's offense. A.J. Brown is no longer with the Tennessee Titans, but that doesn't mean he won't be.
After all, the Tennessee Titans are a contender for the Super Bowl, and it's hard to imagine that they would trade Brown this offseason. The Titans aren't likely to give up on their franchise quarterback, and Brown has been a key cog in their offense.
Brown can play a variety of positions in the offense. He can be an inline blocker, an H-back, or a wide receiver.
His speed makes him an excellent playmaker. He can also run solid routes.
While the Titans had one other tight end, it was Corey Davis. However, Davis went out with an injury, and Brown had to step in for him.
Though Davis was a solid replacement, Long didn't outperform Brown in the passing game. The Tennessee Titans haven't reached their goal of a Super Bowl, but that doesn't mean that they won't make the playoffs.
This team's roster is good, and they don't have many contract obligations this offseason. If they can keep Brown, the Titans could contend for the AFC title.
Just remember that a Super Bowl win is always hard to come by, but if they can make the playoffs again, they can be a contender. Titans have released Jackrabbit Jenkins.
Jenkins played in 14 regular season games last year for the Titans and started 13 of them. Tennessee also signed Malik Hooker to a 2-year deal worth $8 million.
In addition to Brown, the Titans also signed Miles Jack. The latter had a breakout season last year, racking up 108 tackles.
He's from Ole Miss. A.J. Brown is a wide receiver in the NFL who is currently playing for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The former Ole Miss wide receiver was drafted in the second round of the 2019 NFL Draft. He has a unique story and is a good example of how an Ole Miss alum can play professional football.
Read on to learn more about A.J. Brown's background and where he came from. This article will give you the inside scoop on how to spot an Ole Miss graduate playing in the NFL.
A.J. Brown is from Ole Miss, and he was recruited by numerous college programs during his senior year. The recruiting craze for Brown continued through the winter signing year as coaches and scouts covered his practice field.
He finally committed to Ole Miss in March, but he waited until the signing day. On signing day, Brown walked onto the Ole Miss practice field to hone his skills.
However, since then, he has been out with a minor hamstring injury. He is progressing toward returning to the field, but Ole Miss didn't want to rush him back too quickly.
After enrolling at Ole Miss, Brown started his collegiate career against Wofford. During the 2016 season, Brown played in all 12 games and finished fifth on the team with 29 receptions for 412 yards and 2 touchdowns.
In 2016, A.J. Brown was ranked fourth among SEC freshmen in receptions per game and receiving yards per game. And in 2017, he was elected mayor of his hometown, Starkville.
The next time A.J. Brown plays for the Ole Miss Rebels, watch out. The Crimson Tide is ready to shock the college football world.
This is an opportunity for Ole Miss to finally land a quarterback. Whether that's
Brown is from Ole Miss or not, it will be interesting to see where he goes next. And remember, A.J. Brown is a star receiver from Ole Miss.